Ollie and I are on our way into the burn. It was raining. I knew it would be today. Just took my time getting in here. And Ollie has baseball practice at noon. So no rush. I didn't want to say anything yesterday because I didn't know how super quiet they were about it. But Jason McGinnis and his girlfriend Carrie, from the last 2 years, 2.5 years, maybe 3, got married yesterday. Just out of the blue, went and got married. That's how Jason is. Just kind of quiet guy. Doesn't want a big deal. And really, really happy for him. As a wedding present, I kept him employed. And gave him a job this morning. So congratulations to Jason and Carrie. I was surprised. I only found out about it yesterday morning, and they just went and got married. I don't think it was a shotgun wedding or anything, but it was definitely a wedding. So congratulations to them. Now, much smaller news. Last night did not go the way we wanted. Delicious Stone DK. I know. I talked to James just briefly. I want to talk to him a little deeper after talk about how the baby's trained. I forgot to talk much about Chicago Hall and Resolve Indeed schooled yesterday. He said they were both very, very good. We'll talk more about them in the videos this week. This is just an update for you this morning. So Delicious Stone DK looked good, and then halfway down the lane got out of gear a little bit. Dominic said the quarter crack up front bled a little bit. It's bothering him. So they have to continue to work on it. They have a window bar on him right now. I said, just go ahead and put mushroom bars on him and work on his quarter cracks. They'll come. That's how we got him. That's how we got the quarter cracks cleaned up last time. Just one of those horses that always has quarter cracks. It's not the same thing that's going on with their babies. Although I guess it's hard for me to say it's not the same thing. It maybe the couple of babies are prone to quarter cracks. I don't think so. They look like they have healthy feet aside from what's going on right now. And as I said, that's mostly attributed to the calcium and the salt water that they put on the track, just because of the bitter winter that we had this winter. So Delicious Stone got to keep working on those feet. Obviously, he's getting tighter. Got off the gate good, looked good. I thought he was going to wiggle through and get a big hunk last night. Instead, he got a little fourth. But you could see how he faltered in the last 16th. I thought maybe he was a little sore, but Dom said no. Well, technically he was, but I was more worried about a lag or something. He said, no. He said, just that quarter crack was bleeding a bit. We got to continue to work on it. So hopefully he can do in the 20. If he can't, there's obviously a 12 to 15 claimer at the Meadows. I think fills pretty regularly. They go around 57. But I believe he'll be able to do over there. Hopefully, I hope so. So we'll see how Delicious Stone does. Next week, Rosetta, a beaten fourth. Looked to me like her feet, Harry said her feet were bothering her a little bit. And now remember, she did train down here. Now there hasn't been any quarter cracks. There hasn't been any heels that have dried out or anything on her, but her feet are a little bit sore. So I believe Harry's going to try and do some work on her this week. She wasn't bad. Tried a 57-3, but I thought with the trip she had, she snapped right past that horse, finishing up her mile. It just didn't happen. So we'll see how Rosetta does next week in Ontario. Oh, Hill No made a break going into the first turn. If you were watching the same way I was in RTN, you saw it cut out just as she got to the first turn. And when it cut back in, I didn't see Oh, Hill No anywhere, and I was a little angry, although I knew what was happening at the time. I've seen her do this before. If you blast her into the turn and then she gets a little crooked, which she looked like she was getting coming off the car, you just got to watch her, right? And every week, James either crossed over or been in kind of walk mode going into the first turn, but Michael Vanderkamp looked like he was stretching him a bit. James was going to assert himself and put her on the front end, and instead put her on the run. So it happens. It's not the end of the world. She'll be back next week. There's no fallout from there. Rosa and Alexander, I thought, geez, it looked like she had some pace throughout the mile and then fizzled out down the lane. So I said to Harry, she's going to have to come back over to Ohio. So they're going to draw papers on her, and we'll get Rosa and Alexandra back to Ohio and Indigo here. I really, of all the horses we sent to Ontario this year, all the horses, she would be nowhere near the top of the list of the horses that I thought might not be able to do. Nowhere near it. I really thought that she'd do well in Ontario. I thought she'd have a pretty good mark by the time she come back to Ohio. And instead, she's had 3 very lackluster outings and a couple of so-so qualifiers. This is a filly that was top of the class last year training down, and it has not got back. She has not got back to that situation just yet. It stopped raining here. Oh, I see they're back jogging. Good for them. I don't know what horse that is, but last night did not go the way yesterday afternoon did. Delicious Stone DK kind of piddled away at fourth. Rosetta was fourth. Oh Hill No made a break, and Rosa and Alexander did not race well at all. Aside from that, though, it was a tremendous day. Looks like Money won the open trot again. Memory and Imagination raced good, trotted 54-4. Arson won the open, was awesome. Time is on my side, just a tiny bit short. As I said, all those horses that were 1, 2, 3 all got the race last week and all paced 51. They were all ready to rock yesterday. And when I sized the race up, I said, well, Arson's going to have to deal with Buckeye Bollinger. That's not going to be an easy task. If I drop in the 3-hole right now, I'm going to have to come first over, which I'm not coming. Or now Ronnie's going to come first over into Arson with another good horse and tow whoever else up into it. I would much rather put Time is on my side on the front end, control the race, and take my chances in that regard. As it turned out, my biggest fear, I knew Arson was good. My biggest fear for the race, winning the races, just as a driver, was going to be Arson. Well, Buckeye Bollinger come to me hard around the last turn and kind of took a chunk out of Time is on my side. Flattened his wheels a little bit, not literally, but metaphorically. And then Ronnie swept up in the outside, Arson up the inside. Beat fair and square. You know, how short was he? He was a length short. You know, a length and a half from winning in 15 apiece. And, you know, kind of at the end of where he needed a little break. So he's out in the field today and have a little time off. I think about 2.5, 3 weeks off, and then we'll bring him back. I sent Harry a message today and said, hey, Time is on my side. It's out for 3 weeks and training back. We'll prep him. Likely race him in a perfect world. Now, I don't know the dates. Does there a calendar here? It doesn't matter. May 11th is the Juravinski. I think around May 4th, if we could prep him somewhere, that would be great. So in that time frame, I don't really want it to be 6 days, so it'd be May 1st to 4th. I would like to see him race at either Mohawk or the Meadows. I would favor Mohawk, actually, so he can get over there and get acclimated and get a good race into him. James can drive him in the open and see how he feels. Go to the Juravinski, and then we'll make a decision after that. We've tons of races floating around there also. One, he's eligible to everything. And two, there's a number of invitations also. You have the Camluck one in London, or we do want him going to the Graduate, though, in Mohawk. So I suspect his next 3 events will be a prep, the Juravinski, and the Graduate, and that will run him into the end of May. So that's the plan for Time is on my side. Arson will race in and around the Meadows for a bit. He's got Oak Grove on the 28th of April. Now, somebody had asked me, why aren't we down in Oak Grove yet? Well, last year we got the piss beat out of us, excuse my language, the first part of Oak Grove. So I did apply for 10 stalls, said we'd be there May 1st, and they said, nah, we're going to be full by then. So, I mean, listen, I would have paid for the 10 stalls through the month of April if it came to that. I'll call Kevin Mack again today and see if I can't get myself in there. And then we'll go from there. But we do have Arson. I fully expect that Grand Slam deal will be ready to go by then. Potentially Rosetta, if that's the direction we're heading with her. We'll have an open trotter down there if we want, which I think we will. So lots to do, lots to go down there with. I think we'll have 4 or 5 or 6 aged horses or sophomores down there if we want to. And we can go to Verlin's Farm, I guess. I know Eric doesn't want to be shipping all over the place. I don't blame him. But it may not be the end of the world. We'll see. So that's the plan with everybody going, for the most part, that race yesterday. What's going on with them over the next few weeks. How they raced yesterday and going today. We have Fire and Shine, Freedom Hill. Freedom Hill was sharp as attack training this week. I don't know how much rain they're expecting throughout the afternoon. Hopefully, I'd rather not race in the mud tonight. Fire and Shine, a 7-hole again. We were going to close her up and do all this stuff to her. Drew the outside. Probably just going to leave the open bridle on her, duck her, and race her for this week. Rose Run AJ is in a good spot, I believe. Oh, Jody's driving him at 10-1. I was wrong. So he's in a little bit tough. And even Trost is in tough. Jody's driving him also. So Little Judas picked off both of them tonight. But hopefully they race good. We got Patrick the Piranha tomorrow. What's his odds? 9-2 in the open. It's a tough spot to be. And Drebin again picked for third on Monday. Tuesday we got Amarillo, Cadeau, Century Legion, Tenacious Hanover. Other horses in on Wednesday. Melisandre is going to make her debut on Wednesday also, albeit from the 8-hole. So with that, have a great day. I will talk to you all very soon. If it's raining where you are, take an umbrella. Take care.